Yeah, again, I agree with you, but don't you understand that we don't have the perfect leg to stand on because Nick is like, yo, assholes, I'm 19-1,
I hate that.
So I get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our friend Big Z, Zander Krause, joins us now.
What's up, Big Silz? How you doing, brother?
And we keep the best for the last here. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm feeling good. I tell you what, though, I'm listening to my own network today, and I'm like, what the? Sounds like a funeral on this place, man. You and Johnny Matt, that was a beautiful win. What are you looking for in September, Sileo? You're looking to learn about your football team. You're looking to find what you guys are made of. You don't win Super Bowls.
I already know what they're made of.
You don't need A+ performances.
I already know what they're made of.
No, they don't.
You don't think
football,
that team? Are you trying to tell me
you don't think Jalen Hurts?
You don't think Jalen Hurts and Jordan Mailata and Lane and all these guys don't know what they are and who they are?
You don't think that team learned something about themselves yesterday?
No, I think they know who they are. The coordinator needs to know who they are. The coordinator doesn't know.
Well, did he learn something yesterday?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so that's my positive because, look, I agree. I've used this, Sills, and honestly, I think you've made an impact because I've heard this used all over the place nowadays. Liars Month.
Yep.
So if we take that approach into the game, fuck the outcome for just a second. All right, we won the game. Screw the outcome for a second. What can we take from the games in September? What do we need to learn about? We need to put ourselves on a trajectory where we can be playing our best ball in December.
Where I'm coming from with that. What you're saying, I think we're saying the same thing. I think you're playing C football in these 3 games, and you got fucking so much more to improve. And on top of that, a lot of it is self-inflicted. It's injuries. It's situational play calling. Maybe it's the quarterback grabbing the bull by the horns and saying, whoa, dude, because there was something definitely different in the second half.
Oh,
what was the difference?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I'm not going to sit here and say they knocked Petulo out of it, but I don't know. That was a different offense. Well, no, I think and look, I do agree with you where they're clearly not playing their best football. I mean, look, every player in the team said it yesterday. We got a lot to learn from today. Jalen Hurts said we got a lot to clean up. He said it on the post-game interview after the fact. But
Nick too.
If you don't have order, Sills, like if you just liken it to like a vision, like if you don't have structure or principles in your life, or you're not a person who has values that you subscribe by, then you blow at the wind like a tumbleweed. And I liken it like the Eagles got the train on track. It doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean it's humming like a well-oiled machine yet. But at the very least, I think they learned what tracks to cut out and where to focus on. That doesn't mean they're going to pursue that or get there every single week. But I thought yesterday was an amazing lesson for this team about what it looks like when our backs are against the wall. Look, Sills,
they're not changing this weekend.
I'm not saying they are, but I think I think there was a lot to learn from that game. I was talking to some of the people on the post game show. We had a guy, one of our legendary people on there. You might know him or not, Joe Whipp in the chat. He was down with me at the parade. He's been a Philadelphia Eagles fan since the 60s. He said to me, and hey, maybe it was Philadelphia overreaction. I don't know. He said to me, that was one of the worst halves of football I've ever seen in my entire life watching this team. So that's the level of bad. And I almost think that's a good thing. It's like you see what the worst case scenario looks like, and then you're able to bounce back. I just personally think there's a lot of growth that you can have learning, going through an experience like that. It's classic adversity. You learn more in your failures and in your defeats than you do in your victories. And the only way that victory was achieved that way was to get to that low. So you're right. They got a lot of ways to go. They got a lot of order. They got a lot of consistency they have to build, and they're not playing their best football. But I do think yesterday was the best case scenario for what you can learn from a week 3 game. If they play like shit all game, you walk out of that and you're like, yeah, flush that game. There's nothing to take from it, or vice versa. If they dominate it, what we're saying, okay, it's September. Playing your best football now doesn't teach you much. So I really did think, honestly, there was a lot good to take yesterday for the Eagles.
There was. So what do you make of Kevin Petulo now after 12 quarters heading into the Bucs game?
I think they got the straitjacket on him too.
So
I
think this
listened
is
to
Nick
your
overseeing? I do
I
too.
listened to your full show today up until this point. Or after my Birds 365, as weird as this may sound to people, but sometimes I do so much as a host where I'm producing, I'm cutting clips, and I'm sending links, and I'm like, I don't hear everything that's said at times on Birds 365. I really re-listened to my own show, and John said it on the show today. He said, "Oh, you got a problem with the conservative approach? Don't blame Kevin Petullo for that. That's organizational. That's head coach, and it might even come from higher than the head coach."
Oh, absolutely, from Howie.
So if you're telling me, let's just assume, and hey, maybe you're right. Maybe it was Jalen Hurts who called the plays in the second half. Let's just assume for a second, though, it was Kevin Petullo for the sake of this conversation in the second half as well. Well, shit, that's him unleashed too. Maybe he's not that bad at passing
I
concepts.
said that last week to you. I go, how do you know it's not Nick? And do they have the straitjacket? I think I said, do they have the straitjacket on Kevin?
See, this is where this is where it gets muddy for me, and I'm not sure. RC3 says Nick is in full control. But don't RC3, don't you
Not
think
really.
that if that conservative approach is coming from up to Nick, are we sure it stops at Nick? Are we sure Nick is the one setting that?
No.
So I don't know, but I think
think
Kevin Petullo might be in the straitjacket, honestly.
Okay, well, you know what the straitjacket is? You know what it's code for? Analytics.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look like a numbers game that was played in the first half, going by the book on what you thought plays would work? And before you know it, the Rams had answers for everything, and it just looked like they had no way of getting out of it. It just looked like it was mapped out on how to approach that first half, and it was a train wreck. Now they had to break away and break from the tether in the second half because they were down. The Rams even scored, went down there and put a 20-plus burger up, and you're really down. All of a sudden, you have to do this, right? You know what? I think the Eagles are better, and Jalen Hurts is better when they are off script more and up tempo.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
You came back on that team because you got off script and up tempo.
Yeah.
That's the positive, Zander.
Didn't you take away this too, Silz, from after the game? And as a player yourself, former player yourself, you kind of know how a player thinks. And I think that's one of the reasons this is such a popular show. But didn't listening to AJ and then listening to Jalen and then you looked at the excitement on Hurts's face. You listened to what he said to Pam Oliver. He was very intentional in that interview. This is who we are in this half. We got to get away from playing not to lose. Like, I'm not trying to create a wedge here between the coaches and the players. I'm just saying, to me, it seems like there's a clear directive. The players who are on this offense don't really want to play the way that the coach and the organization wants them all to play. I mean, from AJ's comment to Jalen's comment, I'm sure Smitty, I didn't hear anything from him, but I'm sure he's commented on it. I think this team wants to let loose. And hey, that's not even talking about whether Jalen would be successful or this offense would be successful at it. But I think this team wants to play, man. I think they want to let their nuts hang. I've been saying that. I know it's vulgar, but I've been saying that on the show for a couple weeks. Let the nuts hang. Come on, everybody.
Zander, this is the best topic that I could possibly have. And I will be going full force and full forward with this. Don't you think Nick Sirianni takes the chance of losing his locker room if you keep listening to the front office guys and analytics, when you got players down there banging on those guys, telling them, this is bullshit, how we are running this offense? It's embarrassing. Those players looked embarrassed coming off the field. They looked embarrassed. And then when they had the rebound in the second half, like you said, look at Hurts's face. Look at AJ's face. They were all excited. This is what we want to do,
right?
Not what they want us to do. I'll tell you what, man. You start dropping a couple L's. If you do, it'll be a different conversation in that locker room with guys wanting to win one way and the coaches wanting to win another way. Yeah. Now, you tell me, do you think the coaches want to win one way? And do you think the players now want to win another way?
You see, I don't view it as black and white as you just asked it. I know this is probably a political answer, but so the hard thing to gauge is they are 19 of the last 20 now, right? Or 18 of the last 19.
Yeah, but these are the players complaining.
I know. I'm just saying, I think sometimes there's a mindset of, I appreciate that AJ wants the ball. That doesn't mean he knows how to set the tempo. You know what I mean?
You're
So
not wrong.
again, I think you're right in that
Because
they
you
should
drop on me 19-1, and I go,
Yeah,
but
right.
fuck, man. No.
Yeah.
I'm with
It's
you.
hard.
I got that.
Don't
It's
break.
not hard for
Don't
me
fix
to
what's
get
not
into a
broken.
fight over that.
Exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's like, I think I don't know if it's all
You're
the
right.
coaches being wrong. I think, the success that we've had has maybe clouded some of their shit, man. This is winning. Nobody wins like this. We're doing something right. So maybe let people bitch about stats and we're just going to keep doing this. But I do think, to the point of,
I think it's going to get to a tipping point.
well, I think just going back 1 second, and then I'll get to the tipping point conversation. But just going back 1 second, I think I would assume most people, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong with this, but I would assume most people in their own life can think about this as it applies to them in whatever way it would apply to them. But when you have belief in yourself, when you're a confident person, when you're AJ Brown, when you're Jalen Hurts, when you're Devontae, like you want to impose your will. You don't go through life that saying, okay, whatever comes up on this day, whatever comes up in this scenario is going to dictate the way I live my life. And in this case, the way I play offensive football. I think everybody in that locker room, rightfully so, has a pride about them, a sense of confidence about them that I want to come in and do what I want to do. I don't give a shit what the defense wants me to do. This is what we want to do today. And I can relate to that from a sense of, if you're that type of dude, or you're that type of alpha, or you're that type of killer, as AJ Brown called them, you want to go out there and dictate the tempo, dictate what you do. And I think you're kind of tugging on the human element there.
What you're saying here.
You got a lot of caged, you know what I mean? For lack of a better word, you got a lot of caged players who want to be unleashed.
Say animals. I got it. I mean, we
No, I mean it in a way of seriously. They want to break free from what the offense is setting the parameters on what they can be.
Okay, well then let me expand. When does it become a tipping point? Because I saw some of it on the sidelines on Sunday when they were fucking having an argument on this. Well, a conversation. I won't say argument because I don't know what was said. It looked like there was a conversation, and then after, dude, AJ went like this. I'll tell you what, I've never seen more guys after a win like that go like this. Hey man, we can't do this, man. We can't play like this. And all of a sudden Hurts is going, we can't play like this. And you're right, Zander. The one thing you take out of the game is the fact that you fought your ass off and you played for 60 minutes. That is the positive. But
and you still win the game. I mean, that's another positive. You find a way to win.
And you put yourself in that position yourself. You put that in. So again,
all right. Now I'm going to give you my answer to your point about the tipping point, and it's going to be optimistic Eagle fan.
Right.
All right. And I feel strongly being that optimistic Eagle fan because they've demonstrated to me enough times for me to believe in it. But I think the tipping point just happened at halftime. I think
if they go back to their approach and how they do it on Sunday against the Bucs, everything you just said, it's still in place. Do you not agree?
To a certain extent, yes. But at least they just saw and they just reminded themselves what they're all capable of doing. I mean, let's be real for a second, Silz. They dominated the Rams in the second half. Dominated them. They scored like 20. They scored 21 point or not 20 points in 12 minutes.
Well, then what are we talking about here? I want to dominate people. I don't want to sit around dicking around.
Hey, yeah, again, I agree with you, but don't you understand that we don't have the perfect leg to stand on because Nick is like, yo, assholes, I'm 19-1,
I hate that.
So I get it. Now, I think that, the league changes so quick, they got to get ahead of it, and I think that's what they did at halftime. Maybe they
think they think their way of thinking is better than the players' way of thinking.
Well, maybe, but I also think that
because of the 19-1.
If they feel like that tipping point has occurred too, they've shown that they'll change because that's what they did at the bye week last year. All right, these guys are on to something.
Yeah,
and
if they feel like game then.
But if they if Nick is looking and he's like, yeah, running game's not looking as good as it did last year. Defense is good, but they're not the number one in football right now. We might have to evolve this year. Maybe these guys are on to something. And my point would be this, there's obviously going to be some level. Like, they're not going to do what they did in the second half every game. We all know that. That's not going to be their approach. They're going to use Saquon. Like, they're going to play, kind of their game. But if you look at it and say, Shit, I lost my train of thought. I'm listening to the dog outside, and I lose my fucking train of thought in the middle of the commentary.
In the second half, if you think they can evolve the offense on what they saw in the second half of this game, if they're going to evolve into being, they see what they can possibly do. I don't know. I was just saying something like that.
Yeah, well, I think they can see and look at it and say we got to be better. That we don't. I got it. I was going to say you can look and say we don't need to beat the Cowboys on CeeDee Lamb drops. We don't need to beat the Chiefs on whatever they beat them on last week, which was kind of a little bit fluky in a way too. Like we should be cleaning the clock with these teams. And again, we know we're not going to do that every single week. But at the end of the day, we are a good enough team. We do have the players that we need to be able to impose our will and give ourselves a little bit of a margin for error, And someone, by the way, I had a guy on last night on the post game show, Chris 3K. I don't know if he's listening. He was the last guy I had on. And he brought up a good point about this as well, where when your offense is more aggressive, that enables your defense to be more aggressive as well. They're jumping passing lanes. They're trying to take chances on the football to create plays because there's a bigger margin for them. They don't need to hold teams to 16 points a game or they're screwed. You know what I mean? Your offense is putting up 27, 30 points. So I think that gives them a little bit more of a runway as well to try and, okay, let's impose our will defensively. Let's play aggressive on defense instead of playing bend but don't break on our heels. So I think it works both ways too.
What are you more concerned about, your rush defense or your rush offense? Gave up 160 to the Rams. 5.5 yards a clip. And on the other side, you take Hurts out of the equation, you had 14 carries for 46 yards.
Yeah. Part of me, maybe I'm wrong on this, but part of me believes that the running game and the offense is going to fix itself if the passing game can pick up a little bit. I mean, we had seriously low outputs in week 1 and 2. Like I know it's okay to not be the most pass happy team in the world, but 101 passing yards, 94 net is like the bottom of the spectrum. Like you're like at the very supreme bottom. So I think that limited the running game. And if you can envision more balanced attack, I think Saquon's going to pick up. So I would say to your answer, I think the run game on defense would be a bigger concern for me because Jordan Davis has taken such a big step forward as a more versatile defensive tackle.
It's your edge guys right now getting beat.
I know. But do you think Jordan Davis has –
Yeah.
I don't want to say he got worse in the run, but he's playing a little bit of a different position because he's playing so many snaps right now, So I don't know. I mean, the running game is not – the run defense still has some issues, but you're right. Okay. I think it's more edge than it is interior.
So let me ask you about that. Since he's playing more reps, how come the rush defense is going up?
Well, I think to your point, the edges aren't holding as good. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like Jordan Davis is playing so damn good. It's hard for me to say it's Jordan Davis's fault.
Well, okay. I'm saying he's playing more reps. Last year he played less reps and the run defense was down. Remember we said the less you see of him, that means you're in third and long more. You've been giving up a nickel.
That's
You've
true.
been giving up a nickel in every game so far this year, 5 yards a carry. You think that's a problem?
Well, I mean, it's obviously not you want to be better than that, but I mean, I think they can prevail. Now I do think you're going to have moments where you got to be better because yesterday, dude, McVay is he's just so.
I thought he was great for 3 quarters and then he shit the bed.
He's an amazing offensive mind, but he doesn't manage game. Like you have 4th and 2 with the Eagles. Dude, you can't kick 4 field goals. Like I know people chirp Nick sometimes for being too aggressive, but you got to take advantage of opportunities when you have a team playing that bad. Like you got to understand the Eagles
are not going to beat the Eagles kicking field goals.
I know, and they're not going to be as bad as they were in the first half for a full game. No. They've never been. So I thought he had some really bad coaching. You're probably going to have some moments where there will be more aggressive coaches who will try and take advantage of that. But yeah, I mean, I think they're in a good spot, but the run defense is probably a bigger concern there.
I thought the Rams. I thought they gagged, and I'll tell you why. They thought they had you, and they thought they were just going to run the clock out. And a play was made at the end. The Eagles played 60 minutes of ball, and guess what? The Rams played 59 minutes, and it wasn't enough. I mean, that's what happened. The last minute of the ball game, that's what that was. That came down to 1 minute. 1 minute determined the outcome of that game.
some credit, though. I mean, they really shut them down in the second half. With the exception of that turnover, the Rams didn't have another point in that half.
But again, self-inflicted. You put the Rams in that position with the play calling.
Well,
I mean, the lack of running.
If you go back and you watch the breakout drive when it was 26-7, and that was when they had a 30-yard pass to AJ, and then a 30-yard in the seam to Dallas Goedert for the touchdown. That's where
were you all game?
No, but I'm saying if you were to make the case to me that they took it from Patullo, it's very clear to see where the demarcation line is.
Bro,
they marked down that field so fast.
There's no fucking way he called plays in the second half.
I don't know, man. I'm seriously wondering after re-listening to John, I'm like, John was telling us Patullo is in a straitjacket too.
I know he is.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's a bum play caller. I don't know. I think it's too early to tell.
No. I think that's Nick.
You know what was interesting too? You had your boy Craig Carton on Friday. You listen back on that interview after watching that game. He was on to some shit. I mean, he was talking about Patullo. He talked about the concerns that everybody was having with the Eagles. He's like, I'm smart enough. I've seen this story enough. That's a good offense under there. Now, I know it doesn't look like it right now, but that's a good offense. And he said that.
I think we all know that, but we all know this.
Yeah, but he, to his point, I thought he elaborated on it nicely. So, but no, I mean, look, I think the goal now is how do you get to a point where you see more of that without having to get to such extreme circumstances? You don't need you cannot have an environment where you have to be down 21 points in order to activate AJ Brown.
19-1.
Can I say something? That's
19-1.
Can I say something?
19-1.
Yes, and can I say something that as a talk guy now about the Eagles, we have this channel. We got a bunch of our great people who comment each and every single day. I've taken a lot of not too many, but enough comments. Zander, shut the fuck up. You're the Eagle fan. You can't be, we're 2-0. I don't ever want to hear again that we don't need to get AJ Brown involved. Please, for the love of God, save the comments. I don't give a shit. All right.
Force it to him.
That guy is so good. He is a joy to watch. He is what you said, the best receiver we've ever had, certainly in my lifetime. I mean, I know we had T.O., but I think I was 6 years old when we had
think
T.O.
he's better. I disagree.
Like, dude, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Oh, Zander, we just won, dude. Don't worry about AJ. Nah, I'm sorry. I almost feel so strongly about this that I don't think there should be a 3-play sequence, a series where you don't try and get the ball to AJ. You get 3rd and long, I'm throwing the ball to AJ. I mean, he's that good. He's that good. He's a man amongst boys. Get him the football, It's like Saquon. Why hand the ball to Saquon? Yeah, get the ball to AJ. Night and day. Clockwork. Come on.
All right. Are you extending Jordan Davis after 3 games?
Well, I got to see a little bit more, but I do think you're walking a tight line, right? Because let's just say for a second, all right, entertain me, all right? I know it's potential, and that means it hasn't been done. Let's just say Jordan Davis keeps his pace for the year. Let's just say.
All right.
What's he going to be worth in the open market?
On a team that's given up 140 yards a game?
Yeah, but he's now
5 yards a rush?
He's now expanded to more than just a run. He's not just playing rundowns.
You're giving reps more credit than production.
Well, he's been productive.
Okay, well, how are they running the ball then?
Well, now
we're 17th in run defense.
Yeah, but can I just push back on you? When Jordan Davis was only a run stopper, you used to say it's all he does. And now that he's playing a more versatile role and the run defense is not quite as good, now you're going to kill Jordan Davis for that? Are you trying to push him back into the corner of he's a one-dimensional player?
What's his impact been when your defense is getting run on like this?
Well, I mean, I think he certainly still has an impact. He's been you said it yesterday on the postgame show. Who's been the best defensive tackle on the football team?
I'm just putting things in context here with you talking about an extension. And in the first 3 games, Cowboys ran for 120. Chiefs turned around and went for 125. And then yesterday, they went for 160.
Yeah, but can I put all that on Jordan Davis? I don't think that makes sense.
No.
Yeah.
But when he was playing less, he was more impactful because he had one job. By the way, I'm not saying he's playing poorly.
I don't know if I could say he's more impactful.
Bro,
he's more impactful in the run.
Bro, the D-line itself is getting run on. Those are
Yeah,
facts.
I know,
By
but
the way,
I don't really view it like
you're looking at his numbers on a stat sheet, and I'm looking at the numbers when I see in a ball game when somebody goes for
yeah,
five
but
and a half.
he's not the only defensive lineman on the field. Like, why is he
Okay, well
solely
then
responsible? And you just got done telling me they weren't
okay,
setting
well
the
then
edge.
who's at fault then, Carter?
They're all at fault to a certain
They're
extent. You're
all
on the
at
defensive
okay.
line. You got a role to play, and stopping the run is one of them.
Okay, so the D line's not playing well then.
Well, they're playing good in some areas. They got to improvement in other
Okay.
areas. Same as the
Hey, I'm
offense.
just trying to figure out why you're giving up a nickel a game.
I hear
For
you.
a rep.
Nickel carry.
Nickel a carry.
Look, I hear you. I'm not saying you're entirely wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's all, on Jordan. I don't think it's all on
I'm
Jordan
not
Davis.
saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's
Let me ask you. I'll flip the tables.
okay.
Would you pay Jordan Davis?
Right now, nothing. I want to see 17 ball games. I want to see the impact on how this thing turns out. Right now, we're turning the knobs to try to find the radio station on your radio. I want to hear what it sounds like and what it sounds like at the end of the year here, like it did a year ago. I couldn't have been more wrong about a football defense a year ago than what that thing was. Everybody's in here fucking blowing the Packers to me the first couple weeks, and I'm going, hey, Silz, do you buy the Packers? I went, no. I'm not buying the Packers because I don't buy the quarterback. So it's a liar's month here.
He's been graded pretty well in run defense. Again, that's not everything. I know it's not everything. Believe me,
it's not everything.
No, but he's done well in terms of the grade on run defense. Last week, the LA game was his best game of the season. The Chiefs game was his worst game of the season in run defense. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's something to watch.
More reps. Remember, Zander, more reps.
Right. That's what I mean. Like they're asking him. I think I'd have to look. I mean,
but that's going to lower your production with more reps. Until you
53, 32, 45 reps yesterday for Jordan Davis.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
already got 100. He's got 130 snaps through 3 weeks. Last year he had 444 total.
Okay. So let's see how it looks.
He's going to surpass that number.
I agree with people. I think he's playing at a Pro Bowl level right now. I'm just saying.
I don't know if he's playing at an all-pro level.
Not all-pro. No, we're not going all-pro. We're going Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, he's been better than Carter.
Carter. And look, remember we talked about. I do think and I know we live in a world where everybody wants easy bake ovens and all the bullshit where it comes super quick and first-round quarterbacks are expected to be great in 3 games and I think there's the same with Jordan Davis, who was the 13th overall pick, but I think he's a player with the way he's built and the maturity and just like when you're a bigger dude like that in college, like I think there's more of an acclimation period when you get to the NFL, and I think you've seen that with Jordan Davis. And if you give him a little time, I think he's a guy who could get much better with time. He's learning how to play with his body. He's learning how to, he learned his game weight. I think you can tell how much better this game weight is for him than last year and the year prior. So, I think Jordan Davis is great. Right now, I'm paying him. Now, I'm of the opinion that I'd pay him now because I want to get ahead of that market because that market's crazy. The defensive tackle market, they make big money in there. And you got Jalen Carter as well, who I assume they're going to pay. So I'm probably getting ahead of that market. I'd like to give Jordan 18 to 20 million. I don't even know if that'll get the deal done. But like, what do you think he's worth? Seriously. You don't think 18 million? You balked at that.
You want me to play the game? If he plays like this the way out?
Yeah.
If he plays the way out, I was more impressed with the play on Stafford than I was with the block punt or the block field goal. Because I've seen that now getting Stafford and Josh Allen, him tracking him down. So Chris Jones makes 30-something million. He's nowhere in that room.
Chris Jones is 31. Milton Williams is 26. Lynn McNeil is 24.
He's not a better player than Milton Williams right now.
He's a much different player, though. Much different player.
He is. You have to categorize.
Jeffrey Simmons is making 23.5. Deron Payne, 22.5. Dexter Lawrence, which is the top of the top when it comes to nose. But remember, Jordan is proving to be a little bit more versatile than Dexter. Doesn't mean he's better than him, but he does play. Dexter is pretty exclusively a nose tackle.
I'm not going on the 3 games. I'm going by week 13 to now.
I think he's going to be 20 million plus. That Osa guy in Dallas, who's a better player so far than Jordan Davis, got 20 this year he signed.
So
4
you're
years,
gonna
80
you're
million.
gonna pay 2 defensive tackles $60 million.
Well, look, this team is a team that thrives, and they love the trenches, Sills. If there's a place they're going to pay on the defense, it's going to be it's going to be that interior. Now, I agree, it's rich. Somebody's going to have to go. Like, there's going to have to be some changes, but I don't know. Like, think about it. Howie's so good at these contracts, and maybe it changes a little
Yes.
bit, but like the craziest part is Jalen Carter's going to get signed this offseason, but that money's not going to start really kicking in until after when his fifth
About
year
3
option.
years now. About
Right,
3 years.
3
now.
years. So, like, factor in the cap is going to go up another
25 million
a year
per
probably.
year.
Right. So you're probably looking at an additional 75 million. Now that's going to get eaten up quick because all the contracts are rising as well. But, I think there's going to be a little bit more flexibility than we think, but there's going to be some changes for sure. I'm curious to see which way Howie goes with it.
How do you think Zach Bond played?
Good. I rewatched the All-22. I mean, I don't think he was much of an impact in the run game, as you and Gary talked about, but he is everywhere, man. He is so good in coverage for a linebacker, like scary good.
He can really drop well, can he?
Yes, he can, and he's a great tackler. I know he had that one missed tackle, but he made up for it the next day.
He did, right? The very next play, actually.
Yep, tackle for a loss. So he's just an aggressive player. He's all over the football field, and he's got such a good football IQ. He always seems to know where to be. And that's a knack for a linebacker to be able to know where to be. Getting in the right position is a lot. So I think he's doing great. I think he's having a good year so far.
Those edge rushers are not playing well.
They didn't really show up to me yesterday, but.
And they were running those stretch plays on them. It really wasn't Jordan Davis in the middle and Carter. It was the edge rushers that were not setting the edge. Look how many times they got out. Nolan Smith, I'd like to know what he graded against the run. I'd be curious.
You want me to look?
Yeah, please. Tell me what he did, and tell me what Zadarius Smith did, and tell me what
Jordan in the game yesterday was ranked 78. The number grade was 78 in the run. Let me look up Nolan Smith yesterday. Against 56 for Nolan against the run. Now, again, this is PFF, so some people like it, some people don't. I understand that, but let's go to Darius Smith. Yeah, 48.
Okay. Look at Hunt.
Hunt. At least I've seen Hunt in the backfield.
I have.
Like I'm hoping he can. He was 66.9 in the run.
Okay. So we're talking about guys who did not have a good day against the run.
66 is not as bad as the other two.
No. But he limited his reps.
Zadarius was real bad.
Yeah.
Zadarius was real bad. Can I look at more of Jomo's grades? Is anybody looking like?
Yeah. Tell me what a Jomo did against
the run. This might be my worst take of the offseason.
See, listen.
He was 71 yesterday and
That's
80 grade. He had a good grade yesterday. His best graded game of the year.
Okay. So that defensive line, what did Carter grade out against the run? I'd like to know. Then I'm going to ask you, what do you make of Carter's play so far in 2 games?
He's still finding his feet. Run defense, 51 yesterday, 43 last week, 64 overall defensive grade. He's not dominating football games right now. No, he's not. He's not dominating football games right now. I think I don't know how bad that injury is because he's
very shocked.
He's still holding that thing, dude. Like he's grabbing onto that shoulder a lot. So I don't know. I mean,
and they have no depth at that position.
Carter's one of those players where even when he doesn't play great for his standard, he still makes an impact on the game. But you need that guy to be a game wrecker. I mean, your defense is kind of built on that. When he is, that thing is going to look good. So, you got to keep an eye on that for sure. Not a great start to the year for him. Suspension.
How do you think Reed Blankenship's playing?
Incoming Big Marshall. There's this genie that comes to Big Marshall and he joins the chat. The second Reed Blankenship comes up. He might join in right now. I don't think he's been great. Everybody talked about the push-off yesterday for Devontae Adams, and it was a push-off, but did Eagles fans fail to see how burnt toast he was on that play? Anyway, I mean, first off, he got caught watching. And then he had to real quick flip his hips, turn around, and run down Devontae Adams. And I don't know in what world Reed Blankenship lives, but you're never running down Devontae Adams when you're Reed Blankenship. So you better get back and you better keep him in front of you as best you can. But, yeah, he hasn't been great. He hasn't been great.
What do you think the youngsters did? John Campbell and Makuba.
They didn't jump out at me as much yesterday, like either good or bad. Like I didn't see any plays where I was.
Campbell struggled a little bit in coverage.
Well, I think that's going to happen. He's a rook, you know. I mean,
yeah.
No.
I told you, Zander, they get passes with me because
he had very good grade in coverage, man. Like he's had crazy good grades. Week 1 he had 85.9 in coverage, 78.5 last week, and then a 77.7.
That's good. Okay, but I'm wrong.
No, well, PFF. It doesn't mean you didn't see things. I mean, look, let me just explain to people why PFF is good, but it also is immensely stupid sometimes. Do you want to know who the highest graded offensive players were yesterday for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah. Dotson.
John Mechie was number 1 with 2 snaps. Matt Pryor was number 3.
He almost got a quarterback.
He got benched.
Yeah.
He had 15 total snaps, and he was awful in every one of them.
He was obliterated.
So that's why I'm like, how is Matt Pryor your highest rated defensive player?
You know who had a pretty good game? Adoree Jackson. Take a look at his pass coverage and what he did.
It's not good.
It's not. I thought he was okay back there.
It was him and Quinion were rated out the same. The 2 highest graded defensive players yesterday were Zach Vaughn, 90.3, another incredible grade. Jordan Davis, number 2. Moro Ojomo, number 3. Byron Young, 4. Jahad Campbell, 5.
Huh.
And Byron Young was not. The only 3 starters of those 3 were Bond, Davis, and Campbell. So Campbell was still your 3rd highest rated starter.
What was Campbell against the run?
Against the run, Campbell was 65.6.
Not terrible.
80 in tackling, 77 in coverage. He's been good, dude. Yeah, he looks pretty. He looks damn good for a rookie. I mean, look, he's got learning to do, no doubt. But I'm really optimistic on Jahad Campbell. I think he's going to be a.
Let me tell you what my wife said about Devontae yesterday. She goes like this.
Devontae, which one? Smith?
Yeah. She goes, Dad, Smith's my favorite player. She goes, I love that guy. I thought he was tough as shit yesterday, man.
He's a tough player, dude.
Those were so tough routes he ran. Yeah. That touchdown catch he had too.
He's a gritty player. He plays like he's 210. You know, he's not afraid of contact.
About a player, man. He is so good. And how?
Really, look, you know me. I'll get on you if I think you have a wrong take. I actually don't view Devontae as a bad take by you. You said. And rightfully, you said it's not the right team for him. I mean,
right. I thought somebody like Cincinnati was thorough.
Team, you're right. It didn't have a big passer. So you didn't say Devontae wasn't a good player. You more said that this isn't the right fit for you.
Right. It's not the
right. I understand what you were saying there. Again, it turned out to be a little wrong, but it wasn't like you were dead wrong with the player.
They got him in a good role of him being a 2, don't they? They got him in a great role. Not the expectations of him having to carry a passing game. AJ's got way more. I'm going to say this to you about AJ yesterday. I think there was leadership in the guy yesterday. I think he was like, you know how many of these wide receivers would blow a fucking gasket over something like this? And the chirping that would be going on in the locker room with the players when the media is not in there would be high volume. Instead, he's like, hey, man, we got him. I thought he was the most disappointed guy after the game. He was like, hey, we can't do this, man. We can't play like this. And I think he was dead on. I think there's leadership to that guy. I do.
Who, AJ?
I think he bitches a little bit, but I think there's something there to that, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I think AJ is, look, rightfully so. He wants the ball at times. But to me, like you look at the last 2 weeks press conferences, not yesterday's, but from the first 2 weeks, like he looks to me like a guy that has a lot to say, but isn't saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think he's I think he has more thoughts that are more evolved than just I want the ball. But he's right. I think what he said after the game was spot on. And look, that doesn't mean that receivers are always right when they say they want the ball, but he's right from a sense of we play too conservative for how good of the players we have on this team. We can let our killers kill, and that's going to do good things for this football team. I agree with him 100% in spades about that comment.
So what about the report coming out that Dion called Howie Roseman and the Eagles were thinking of taking him as a backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts, and Shador said, "I don't want to be a backup to Jalen Hurts." What do you make of that?
Doesn't surprise me at all. Howie calls about literally everybody. Like
No,
literally.
Dion called Howie.
Yeah. But
And
apparently
Howie had interest in it.
Yeah, Howie had some interest in drafting him. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, Shador wants to look. Shador didn't want to go to any place where there's a set in stone future quarterback, or you know what I mean.
I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah, so I get that from his perspective. He's a guy that again believes in himself. I like people who believe in themselves, and he didn't want to come here. But I think it's not a surprise the Eagles are interested in him. They're interested in everybody, whether it's good or bad, or whether they end up making the move or not. They still want to know and learn about the player.
I'm going to ask you one last time about Kevin Patullo. So you don't think they replace him?
If it's him that's got the straitjacket on, I think there will be internal questions. If they know, the organization knows it's not him who has the straitjacket on, then shit, just take it off and let him be the OC. My whole thing about the Eagles sometimes is I feel like you got to let coaches coach, let players play. You know what I mean? Like I don't like the mindset of you have to control every element. If you hired a head coach, believe in the head coach.
Micromanaging.
If you hired the offensive coordinator, believe in the offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? So I from that perspective, I don't like it, but it's too tough for me to tell if it's on Patullo, dude. It really is. I know everybody loves to say that, but it's every coordinator that looks passive.
I think it's Nick.
Do you think it's Nick or do you think it's the organization?
Okay. Then it's the organization. I think they look at you and do what you just, hey, look at this. 19-1. Anything you say, Zander, I'm 19-1. I got a Super Bowl ring. I've been to two Super Bowls in 3 years. You know the way you're thinking right now? You hear Eagle fans doing this? Did you see us in the second half? We're fucking throwing that. They're going to look at you and go like this. Who cares?
Right.
We're going to go back to we're going to go back to our way and doing it this way.
Right. Let me ask you a question from your perspective here for the Eagles fans out there who maybe felt like I did. I told you at the start of the segment, like why I was happy with the game. You remember me saying, you learned a lot from it. You think I was overstating it, or do you think there was truth to what I said, or what do you think about the way I phrased it?
I think you're right. I think in this aspect, though, I think they learned what is going to work for them the same way they learned last year what was going to work for them in the run game. Might be vice versa this year. You might have to turn that inside out. But where I do disagree with you on this is I think Kevin Patullo is the one that had to figure it out. I don't think your players on that offensive side, there's a reason you kept all them guys intact. These are guys that have been to the Super Bowl 2 years out of 3 times. You really think they fucking learned anything about themselves? I don't. I think they know exactly who they are. I think they know exactly. Zander, if they didn't know who they were, they couldn't have fought back and won.
Yeah. My question with that would be,
those players, how many games do you see when players don't win games like that?
Right.
Because they don't know who they are.
I know.
The Eagle players know who they are.
That's true. That's a good perspective. Maybe then to my point earlier, like the guy who had the biggest learning yesterday was Patullo.
It is Patullo.
This is what we're capable of. I got to stop keeping this thing in first gear and flip it on.
But here's the thing that keeps that, and always will put that with the doorstop. Whether he knows it or not now, it's organizationally, they're doing this. We're 19-1. We believe that analytics has got us here, and we're going to put game plans, offense. Dude, the difference in the approach of coaching between Vic and Nick, one guy is a bookworm, and the other guy's a coach, in my opinion. I look at
Nick. You really think Nick's a bookworm? I don't think he is.
Well, I think, because I think a lot of this has to do with analytics. I don't think there's analytics on that side.
Well, we can discuss whether we think, he's a competent or has a full,
Then why did he flip the script so much?
Well, dude, if you look at Nick's history, he played college ball at Mount Union, you know what I mean? He's a football guy. He worked in D3. He worked in all his way up. He's a classic guy who held on to the playing dream as long as he could, played his D3 ball, became a coach immediately. Dude, he's not Kevin Petullo, you could make an argument. I don't know Kevin Petullo's background as well, but
I feel like I'm in a nerd factory every time I watch your offense.
well, because we got Julian Lurie and Jeffrey Lurie, dude, they're nerds. But the nerds sometimes are right.
They are right. They go
Right?
19-1.
Sometimes the fucking nerds are right. I don't know what to make of it. I hope
The
it keeps
nerds
working.
are right. They're 19-1. It's fucking, dude. They're so
Dude,
good.
I hope it keeps working. I'll tell you what. I know sometimes
They're so good a team. They're so
dude,
good.
I love this Eagles team. Is such a fun team, man. I seriously am enjoying this Eagles era of football right now. Like it just feels like no matter what, they figure out a way to win.
So good.
No, that's a business perspective thought, but I'm strictly talking about like just being a fan of the Eagles and just enjoying the football games. I mean, I know people don't have their issues with Jalen Hurts or whatever. They think he's limited in certain regards, but there's only one player that has the most amount of impact. And I know wins and losses is a team stat. Yes, it is. It's a team game. But the number one player in every team that has the most impact on that statistic is the quarterback. And when you win as much as they have, I'm giving him credit for that. And he seemingly, no matter what it is, if you're asking him to run, he runs and gets the win. If you're asking him to suck and win, he sucks and wins. If you need him to throw and win, they do it yesterday. Like the dude just figures out a way, man. And I love this team. I think this team really has a great heart, they're really together. I think they got a good culture. I think Nick does deserve some credit for that. They do play for each other. That doesn't mean they don't have things to clean up, but I'm enjoying this era of Eagles football. That's for sure.
Okay, last one here. How do you think this Buck game works out this weekend? You're going down to Tampa. Both teams are 3-0. There's only 6 teams that are undefeated left in the NFL. 2 of them are playing. It's the game of the week. It's the early game of the year. I think whoever wins this football game, I think the Rams are in the conversation too. I like the Rams. I thought the Rams, again, they just got to not be so fucking conservative in moments. But I would say this. I mean, winner of this game this weekend, front runner for the NFC?
Well, I'm not going to give my prediction right today, but I will say I came out of the Rams game very confident. And I'm a believer in the Bucs right now.
2 quarters of football.
Relax.
Well, okay. Well, that's what it was.
Okay, fuck you. I got my own take. You got your own take. All right?
Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
But yes, after 2 quarters. The Bucs team I'm a believer in, but they're banged up right now. And I don't know how they're gonna manage that. And I think Vic thrives when he knows what a quarterback is dealing with. Yesterday he got Stafford off his spot. I think he's gonna be able to mess Baker Mayfield up enough. I think we destroy the Bucs. I think we throttle them.
Baker moves around more than
10+.
Baker moves around. You haven't beaten anybody by. Oh wait, did you beat him by 10 this last weekend?
Who? The Rams? No, 33-26.
Okay. Yeah, Baker moves around more. Here's where and plus they're getting Tristan Wirfs and Godwin back. But that chronic hamstring injury that Mike Evans has, I don't think he's going, and it's not been reported yet. So I'll give you guys all some insight. Wirfs is going to go, and so is Godwin going to go. So they're going to go this weekend. Now,
wait, can I ask you on that?
Yeah.
I thought they put Wirfs on the list where you have to miss 4 games.
No, he wasn't. They're on the active roster.
Oh, they didn't put him on the PUP list or what's it called?
Nope.
I guess IR.
Yeah, they didn't put him on IR.
Okay.
They're still
I
on
didn't
the
know that. See, I thought Godwin and him were on the IR, so they were going to be out.
Nope.
So they're going to be back. That's a big addition. Now, again, you said it already. Doesn't mean they're going to be in game shape, but still getting them back is better than the alternative.
It makes their offensive line a little bit more complete. And I'll tell you this. I don't think anybody for the first 3 games has played any better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Last 3 games that they've played, they've had a game-winning drive, and he's won those games. But I will say this. You got to put everything in context like I do with the Eagles. Jets, Texans, and who'd they play in the opener? Atlanta. Not world beaters. So you know what I mean? I'm going to put that in.
You know who the highest graded quarterback right now in football in both passing and overall offense is through the first 3 weeks?
No.
Sam Darnold.
With Seattle? Holy cow.
They're 3-0.
Wow. Sam Darnold is following up what he did in Minnesota. Where's Mayfield on that list?
He's pretty low.
Okay. Where's Hurts?
No, Seattle's 2-1. Excuse me, they're 2-1. Hurts is 11. Mayfield is 15 in total offense. In passing, Hurts is a little lower. He is 29 in passing, as we talked about already. And Baker is 19th.
Yeah, they have
total offense, though. Number 1 is Darnold. 2 is Prescott. 3 is Stafford.
Wow. So
And
wait a minute, you beat
passing,
a really good quarterback.
Sam Darnold's playing well.
No, you beat a really good quarterback in Stafford. Then
Yeah, he's third in
having
offense.
a good year this year.
Yep.
That's a really good takeaway from that.
Yeah.
So you think you killed the Bucs this weekend?
I feel, I got you guys. Seahawks are 2-1. My bad. Yeah, I think we beat the Bucs up. I think it's time to get right with that team. I think they get every single time the Eagles have something that gets them, they always seem to correct it. And
Better run the ball against them.
This week is the week to correct on the Bucs. I think it's time to slap them so bad that people never say there are kryptonite again. I don't ever want to hear that bullshit again. Let's go. Let's take their soul out, take their heart out, destroy them any way possible. And I think they're going to be able to do it this week. I think they're coming on. I think they got confidence, got confidence coming into the game. My question would be, don't fall into your shell. You're too good for that.
There's fourth in run defense.
Bucs are?
Yeah.
Wow, good run defense, right? Well, they got Vita Vea. I mean, they got good guys.
No, they did lose Kalijah Cansey.
I know. That's a big loss, too.
A huge loss.
Yeah, that's a big loss.
Because that's their 3 technique.
Yeah. All right, brother. Good stuff, man. You got to wrap
absolutely, dude. I appreciate it, my friend.
All right, so it's a good show.
I got to pay some bills here, and then we'll take a small time out.
You want to just do a short one and wrap it up?
I'll do a short one. I'll do a short one.
Short one, wrap it up. All right, good stuff.
You got it, my friend. Great stuff. We'll catch you in the morning, Z.